Welcome to Midlife Customs. On my last build video of the red 67 F100, I did a walk around, and since then it has sold. And it was even a rainy day outside that day. Sad. Watch it drive away. If you like working on cars and watching DIY videos, then you should hit the subscribe button because that is what I post on this channel. Please take a quick minute to read this disclaimer. I am not a professional, nor do I claim to be. Now that the red 67 F100 is done and gone, I found a new project to start working on, a 53 F100, aka Fat Fender. So after getting it back to the shop, I was going to take out the flat head, but I always thought they were cool and I always wanted to kind of mess with one and kind of see it running. So I invested some time in it and got it running. So check it out. So immediately after that, I know this isn't going to be very popular, but I removed that engine. I had a plan from the beginning that I was going to make this more drivable and more of a daily driver, so I knew it was coming out. Next thing I'm going to do that might be unpopular decision too is I'm going to go ahead and remove all the front suspension and put the Crown Vic clip in here. Once again, just making it so much more drivable, in my opinion. And as you can see here, with all the front suspension gone, you can see that it's ready to go. I mean, you do have to take some rivets out, but it's not nearly as involved as, say, the 67 F100s are. You just got to knock these front hangers off and basically remove it. Unlike the bump sides where you have to cut out the entire middle section. And here you can see it mocked up. I literally just lifted in place to see what it's going to look like and kind of measure it all out. And you can see it looks pretty good. I guess one of the knocks on this is it's too wide, but you know, hey, I'm going to save this truck. I'm going to make it the way I want to make it. Another thing I decided to try was one of these kits they sell online, so I grabbed a cheaper version, and it basically gets installed inside the frame, and that's where you can kind of put the bolts through, and it looks like a pretty good quality set. I mean, I thought it was worth giving it a shot. They do fit on a certain side, so if you're ever going to use these, you got to pay attention to that. One goes on the passenger and one goes on the driver. They're not reversible, so you can see how that all lined up. And now if it goes over here and you put it through the dowel, the bolt holes will not line up, so they do have to go in the right position. So that's the first thing that you got to keep in mind when using these things. The set also comes with these brackets for the arms, and I guess it kind of fit even better for, like, say the 68, you know, the bump side version, because this little tab right here does not work. It's gonna have to get cut off and basically just use the flat part, and you can see how the holes line up, so I might have to extend it to the right side of the bracket later on. But yeah, this piece right here will have to get cut off. One of the other things I learned I have to do is I'm going to have to straighten out some of the frame for the length of the Crown Vic clip, but I'll get back to that in a second. First, I wanted to show where the dowel pinholes are drilled, and basically you just measure the distance between the dowels and center it between the frame. And when it comes to wheel center line, I actually went an inch forward from the bump stop. I did a lot of reading around, and the opinions are different, so if you're doing this, you might want to check that before and come up with position you think is best for you. Now getting back to the frame, you can see this line. That's kind of what I have to get the frame to do. So what I'm going to do is split that open, and I want to kind of stay away from the bottom part. I don't want to cut through the bottom part because I kind of want to just push it up and weld it back together. So you can see here I just kind of left a little space for that, and then I'll taper it off. So here you can see I'll have to cut straight across here and then come back across here, and then I'll lift that bottom piece up and weld it. And here's a view to show what I was talking about. So I'm trying to cut across without cutting the bottom part of the metal, so I was careful to stay away from the bottom of the frame so that I can just lift that up after I cut across and weld it all back together. And this is what it'll look like with the piece missing. So I'll get back to that in a minute. The next thing I had to figure out was most people just cut out like this whole section, but I wanted to just slot these so that the little pins inside the kit will just be pushed into the frame instead of cutting out the whole piece. And just I rather integrate it into the frame than just cut everything away and place it there and weld it. So I made these slots that just slip onto the frame, and then the little sleeves that are inside of it can slip inside in the little rounded off relief cuts. And here you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So now I'll just have to weld all that up, and it's kind of integrated instead of just replacing. And once it's welded up, I would think that that would be there forever. Here's what it all looks like mocked up, and you can see it all lines up really good. So that kit looked like it's pretty worth the effort. I like the way that I put it together there. I'm not knocking the other way. I've never done it, so I don't have anything to compare it to, so that because this is my first time using that. But I do like the idea of leaving as much as the original frame there to go off of. I like the idea of that, so I'm happy that I went with that. And here's a view of it sitting down on its own suspension. If you found this video helpful, please hit subscribe and leave a comment. And as always, thanks for watching.